both on Facebook Live and Periscope. So why are we here today? Obviously, I'm here to talk about packing. It sounds like that's all I ever talk about. But I got some good tips and things for you. Someone that said they can't see me on Periscope. Brittany, you're on Periscope. Can you see me on Periscope? Let me know if you guys can see me on Periscope. Okay, great. You guys can see me on Periscope, and I'm pretty sure on Facebook as well. So we're talking about packing. Before I get to my packing, many of you guys know that I am participating in the My Wonder Year program. It's a program where we're taking a community of folks, about 30 to 50 people, basically across the world. We're going to 4 different countries, 4 different continents, in fact. And we are doing a giveaway. We're giving away a packing consultation with me, Mr. CarryOn. And if you see me looking back and forth, I'm looking in 2 different cameras. I'm doing Facebook and Periscope. But I will be doing a giveaway with a lucky winner from the My Wonder Year blog competition. So if you haven't signed up for the competition with My Wonder Year, someone post the link so that they can sign up and get that information so you can win a packing consultation with me. And I'll talk about that, what that is, in just a second. So I'm here, I'm talking about packing. Obviously, hi Deetra, I'm obviously talking about packing. So the first thing is, what qualifies me to be Mr. CarryOn? Why do I claim myself as the expert and the one to share all these packing things? Well, the first thing is, I have traveled quite a bit. Now, I'm sure I haven't traveled, the most in the world or the most in many of the travel groups that I'm in, but I have hit up to 40 countries just now, from South America, finally to the continent of Africa. That's not a country, but the continent of Africa, the Middle East, and many, many countries in Europe as well. So my experience, what qualifies me, is my travel experience. I've been to many, many places. And so what else qualifies me? Trial and error. When I first started traveling, just like many of you, I packed so much stuff. I had a big, huge bag that I tracked all around Southeast Asia. I went to Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia, and I was all over the place. Like, I had a huge bag. We had to get on these little bitty boats to cross the mighty Mekong River to go from Thailand to Laos, and it was ridiculous. Since then, like most things in life, we've learned, I've grown, and I've kind of gotten it down to a science now when it comes to packing. So I want to share a little bit of that with you. So the first thing is, if you desire to be Team CarryOn, as many of us call it, if you desire to be Team CarryOn and you actually want to make your packing easier and your trip easier, not have to worry about the big bags or waiting for the baggage claim or trying to figure out things like that, join me, be Team CarryOn. So the first thing you have to know is, I'm going to give just a few little tips that I think will really help out. So the first thing is, you have to know, check the temperature of where you're going. Somebody said they can't do a book bag. You can. I'll tell you how. You can pack in just a backpack. So the first thing is, check the temperature of where you're going. If you're going to a warm climate, you really don't need as much. I mean, and I'll speak for myself. And I know sometimes I can be extreme with my packing, but you don't need as much when you're going to a warm climate. You're wearing shorts, you're going in the water, you're wearing tank tops. So you oftentimes don't need as much. So that's the first key. Check the temperature of where you're going. If you're going to a cold destination, you don't always have, right, so most you don't have to worry about lost luggage. That's a good one. Thanks, Jerry. When you're Team CarryOn, you're not worried about lost luggage. And that also goes, thank you for that. That also goes back to, the type of luggage that you buy. So I have a great Eagle Creek 22-inch CarryOn that's fantastic. I can fit so much stuff in there, and it's great. It costs a few dollars though. I also have an 18-inch that I use when I travel abroad, because those domestic carriers internationally, their overhead compartment space is typically a bit smaller, so I got a smaller bag. I got that at Kmart, and it was like $40. The benefit with that is, it's not getting tossed around and thrown by the baggage handlers where your bags are getting messed up. I have a good friend that's a baggage handler, and she works at a major airline, and she'll tell you, and she does periscopes on it, and she'll tell you how they don't really care about your bags. It's true. So baggage manhandlers, exactly. And so you can get a cheaper bag because you're keeping it with you. So it's not a big deal as far as getting tossed all around. So the other thing is, if you're going to a cold climate, you don't always have to take the biggest jacket and the biggest parka and all these, cold climate clothes. Now, if you're going to someplace like Alaska or Siberia or whatever it is, you may have to reconsider. But for most of us, if you're in the States and you're going to the East Coast, or maybe you're going to Europe in the wintertime, you can probably get away with just layering. If you wear regular clothes and maybe throw some thermals underneath, or you add on a scarf and a fleece and then a regular jacket and maybe some gloves, you really can get away with just layering your clothes. It really helps. And that cuts down on the amount of clothes that you have to take with you, and especially the bigger, bulkier items. The other thing is, if you are traveling, you have some big, bulky items, wear those on the flight. You don't want to pack those in your luggage because that just takes more room, right? Wear those on the flight. Whether it's big boots or big jackets, you wear those on the flight. And oftentimes, unless you're really cold on the flight, I know a lot of people get cold when they're flying, the flight attendants will either take it for you and hang it up, or you can just put it in the overhead compartment as well. So layers, and wear your biggest, bulkiest items with you on the flight. The other thing is, and we're talking about what qualifies me as far as being Mr. Someone said, they want their pictures popping and they need lots of outfits. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute when I get down to another section about being minimalist and, taking what really works for you and making it all count. But as far as what qualifies me, I really have the desire to pack. Thanks, Mike. I really have the desire to pack in a smaller suitcase. I didn't want to have the big bags. I wanted to condense what I took. So I really worked at it. I got the right tools to be able to pack in a smaller suitcase. And then we'll talk about that in just a minute. The other thing is, when you're trying to pack in a carry-on, whether it's a suitcase, 18 or in some cases 16 to up to 22 inches, or maybe a backpack or a small duffel, something like that, you really have to know what it is that you're planning on doing. That's the biggest mistake that people make. They don't know what they're doing. If you can set an itinerary, and of course things change, of course things come up, of course you change your mind, but if you at least have a set itinerary of what you plan to do, you know that you're going snorkeling. That's your swimsuit. You know that you're going out to dinner at least one night, so you have something nicer to wear. You know that you're going on a safari, so you wear maybe some more rugged clothes or some clothes that you don't mind if they get dirty or mud. You know you're going to go visit the favelas or the slums when you go to Brazil, whatever it is. Have those set itineraries so that when you get there, rather when you're packing, you're not packing just in case. Because what does just in case lead to? Thanks, Boo Michelle. I see you. Packing for just in case leads to overpacking. And that's like the biggest thing that most people, that's their downfall, right? They overpack. So the first step in not overpacking is having an itinerary so that you at least have an idea of what you're going to do. Because the thing is, when you overpack, that's just extra weight. And God forbid you have to pay baggage fees that you're coming out of the pocket even more. The other thing is, when you're overpacking, you're going to come back with several pieces that you didn't touch, you didn't wear. That's your clue right there that you overpacked. When you're talking about packing, someone said, Liberty said, overpacking puts you at the risk of leaving stuff too. Absolutely. You want to leave something at your destination. And that's a good point. When I go to a hotel or an Airbnb or whatever it is, I oftentimes don't unpack. I don't use drawers, or if I do, I use one drawer. Don't spread your stuff out all over the place, because what happens, like Liberty said, you run the risk of losing things, leaving things behind, and no one really has time for that, right? You worked hard for the money to buy whatever it is that you have, and you don't want to lose or leave it behind. The other thing about packing, you really have to get to a place where you know what you wear, you know what you like, you know what feels good. I call it knowing what your uniform is. And what I mean by knowing what your uniform is, if you know you're going to a particular place or part of the world or a climate, then you want to know what your uniform is going to be. I've been all over the place, and typically I'm traveling to warm weather places, and what I wear is shorts and a tank top. If you look at any of my pictures, if you go through my albums, you'll see that I'm mostly wearing shorts and a tank top. And so you want to know what your uniform is. It makes it so much easier when it comes to packing. I can pack in just a few minutes because I wear the same things over and over on my trips. You know, like I said, shorts and a tank top, or I'll throw in, you know, maybe a long sleeve button down or a pair of pants. But I, thank you, boo. But I also, even with me wearing the same types of things, the same uniform, shirt and tank tops as I travel, I also wear the same things. And if you look at my pictures, you'll see, oh, he was in Greece with that tank top. Oh, he was in Istanbul with that tank top. Oh, he was in China with that tank top. Yeah, I was, but guess what? I was in Istanbul, Greece, and China. So I'm not worried about someone thinking that I had the same thing on. It's more about the destination. A lot of times what I'll do is, and I try to make it a goal, is that because I like tank tops, and I know that's my uniform, that's the souvenir that I buy when I'm traveling. Instead of buying the little trinkets and the magnets, what I'll do is I'll buy a tank top that says, okay, you know, I was at the Acropolis, or I was in Bangkok, or whatever it is. That's my souvenir. And then as I travel, I wear those same pieces. And so I have a souvenir and I have my travel uniform, and it all really just works out together. Exactly. And the other thing I always try and say, and I pointed this out when I did my video with Libria, she was heading to South Africa for my Wonder Year. She was going out there to work, and we did a packing consultation. And the one thing I like to point out is, to be honest with you, no one's really paying attention or caring about what you're wearing on a trip, unless you're going for a particular event, or you're going out to someplace really fancy or nice that there's a dress code. Other than that, no one cares. They're off doing their thing. They're exploring, and so are you. And you just do your thing. Find that travel uniform. It makes life so much easier. So that's the other thing. Okay. Ain't nobody counting your outfits? Exactly. Libra said no one's counting your outfits. They're really not. You know, just to be out there and have a good time. In fact, they're jealous that they're not with you on that trip, that you're wearing the same outfits too. Okay, so the next thing, I know everyone is not going to be able to handle this. You really got to be able to limit your shoes that you're wearing. Again, I know this isn't for everyone. We're talking about being Team CarryOn. If that's not your audience, that's cool. But let me talk to my folks that are with me and trying to be Team CarryOn. You got to limit your shoes. Somebody said jeans and a t-shirt is their favorite outfit. Let me talk about that for a minute too. When I fly, and this is about 95% of the time, if I'm going to a long haul destination, or I'm flying to go see my homeboy in Houston, or I'm going down to Puerto Vallarta for a 2-hour flight, I wear the same thing there and back. I really don't need to have an extra outfit just to fly. I'm sitting on a seat. I'm not doing anything. I can wear the same outfit. And so whether I'm wearing sweats, or whether I'm wearing these travel pants that I got by Prana, P-R-A-N-A, not Prada, Prana, P-R-A-N-A. They're the best pants ever. Get some of those. I'll post a link in the Facebook live stream. We're the same thing. There's no need to pack extra. Someone said, do I feel the jeans are too heavy? I don't take a lot of jeans. I'll usually take one if I'm going for a longer period of time. I don't take jeans if I'm going to like a warm weather beach type destination. But now I have these new pants. I just mentioned them, the Prana. Those are my travel pants. They have them in different colors. They stretch, they have pockets, they look fashionable, not those typical, travel pants that zip off at the knee. These are much, much better. Michelle asked about women and their products. I'm gonna get to that in just a second. So now, let me talk about shoes. You have to, someone said, do I hand wash items for longer trips? Yes. You can wash a shirt or perhaps some undergarments in the sink. So shoes, you have to limit your shoes. Now again, we're talking about being Team CarryOn here. And so when it comes to shoes, you really shouldn't need more than 3 pair. Depending on the length of the trip and what you have planned, perhaps less. And forgive me, I'm looking at both cameras here. But you really shouldn't have more than 3 pairs of shoes. So the pair of shoes that you're wearing, and then 2 in the bag. So the pairs of shoes that you're wearing should be your heaviest pair of shoes, whether it's the boots, or maybe you got some longo heels for the women. And then your pair, there are 2 pairs in the bag, are your running shoes or your comfortable walking shoes and your gym shoes. That's all the same thing, by the way. You know, make sure everything does double duty. And then maybe whatever your alternate shoe is, maybe that's your go out shoe, you know, your dress shoe. But you really never need more than 3 pair. So that's key. You gotta limit. You gotta limit those shoes. Everybody wants to take. I've never understood people taking like 5 pairs of shoes for a 2-day weekend trip. How that work? How that go together? Somebody explain how that work. I don't get it. How you take 5 pairs of shoes for a 2-day weekend trip to Vegas or Miami? Where they do that at? Okay. So, hi, my brother Rashawn joined. Hi, Rashawn. Okay, so let's talk about my beautiful girl Michelle asked about products and conditioners and makeup and all that. Now, clearly, I'm not a woman, but I can try and speak to some of those things. She said, what about the juices and berries that everyone wants to take? So I don't have my bag with me. Actually, I do. When it comes to toiletries, I pack the same bag. In fact, it's always packed. When I come back from a trip, I just replenish it and keep it moving. So the key here is travel size, travel size, travel size. This isn't packed right now, but this is, I don't know if you can see it, this is the bag that I use. And I always have either little bottles like this that you get, or ones like this. These are my favorite. These are called Go Tubes. It's a product by a company called Human Gear. I'll post a link in the Facebook live stream. But those are the best things ever. They have a wide mouth so you can pour your products in there, and they don't spill, and they're great. The thing is, you have to use CarryOn size toiletry bottles for your products. CarryOn size is 3.4 ounces or less. Anything more than that, you're at risk of them taking it. Now, TSA says that you can only have 1 clear plastic, I guess it's not to be plastic, but one clear bag like this. I've often taken more, and it's been okay. I haven't had them mess with me, but you know, you really do want to make sure that you're sticking to 3.4 ounces or less. Somebody asked about clothes wrinkling and iron. I'll come back to that in just a second when I talk about packing cubes. So for the toiletries, you know, whatever size clear bag you have, pack that thing. Get as many in there as you can. And if you have more, if that's not enough, just stuff them in your bag somewhere. Again, I go through TSA every other week, it still feels like, and I haven't had any issues. Now, I do use TSA pre-check, and so maybe I get less of an eye on my bags and my liquids in my bag, but I haven't had an issue. But you do have to get those travel sizes. If you just got to get them. Someone says they typically have 3 clear bags. Yeah, again, I've used more than one. TSA says 1. I've used more than 1. My girl Ronnie, the travel guru, well, I'll post a link to her blog in there. She uses it as well, and she uses more than 1 a lot of times, and she always is fine. Someone said, how do you get TSA PreCheck? You have to sign up for it. It's a program. I got TSA PreCheck a couple of years ago by signing up for Global Entry. If you don't have Global Entry, somebody look it up. It's amazing, especially if you travel internationally quite a bit. So that's toiletries. Someone asked about, what about your clothes getting wrinkled and having to iron? So when I first started traveling, I used to pack a travel iron. I got a travel iron off of Amazon, and it's great. It's a really good travel iron, and I have the link. I'll share it to you. But the way that I travel now, one, I don't have the space for it because I'm Team CarryOn. I take either a backpack or a small duffel, or sometimes the 18-inch CarryOn. But not only do I have the room for it, I don't have the need for it. It's not necessary. The way that I pack 80% of my clothes is I'm rolling them in my Eagle Creek packing cubes. If you guys have never heard me speak or type a message on Facebook or seen a video from me, I always talk about packing cubes. They are they're just the best. They're the best tool that I've ever found when it comes to packing because they make it so easy to pack. I pack the out of my packing cubes. I put so much in them. You know, I see a lot of people and theirs are really loose and, you know, they use them for maybe one outfit or two outfits. No, 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 no. I pack the mess out of mine. And it does two things. One, it allows me to get more in my bag, right? The other thing is that the more I put in there within reason so I can still close the packing cube, it compresses all of my items together. And so when I do my Ranger roll, and it's a nice, neat little roll. Do I have some rolls? Let me see. I do. So when I do my Ranger rolls, and by the way, I just pulled this out of my drawer, so that tells you that I keep my clothes rolled up like this. I'm always ready to go. If I'm going on a trip, I pull up my bag, pull out my Ranger rolled items, and I'm ready to go. But when they're rolled up like this, and then you put them in the packing cube, and they get pressed together, they're not going to be wrinkled. I don't need it ironed. And if I really, really did, the hotel's going to have one. And two, or I could just unroll it and hang it up in the bathroom while you shower and you're ready to go. My girl said, stay ready so you got to get ready. Exactly. Look, I got my Ranger Roll shirts and my toiletries ready to go. Yeah, I'll post the link to my Amazon store down in the Facebook stream. You can see all the products that I use and you can go ahead and order them. Order them from my store, 'cause I'll get like a couple dollars off anything you buy off there. Okay, so I only have a few more minutes left on Facebook because you only get 30 minutes. My girl Brittany told me that when I watched her scope about being an entrepreneur. Check her out. She's amazing. A very social girl. So when it comes to packing, and again, I know that I'm extreme with this, but I'm a bit of a minimalist, and I'm working on it more and more each day. I started my journey with minimalism about a year and a half ago, and for me, what that meant was getting rid of some of my clothes. And since then, I purged, my closet about 5 times. I purged it about 5 times, and I won't show you my closet, but I did post a picture a little while ago, and so I found myself going through my closet and be like, oh, I don't have anything to wear. But I had, 35 outfits for work and a whole bunch of other, casual clothes that you wear out. And I was like, well, I can't, this is too much. And so I wanted to scale down. It was too much decision making. It was, just doing too much. Also, the more stuff you have, and this goes past your clothes, but when you just have stuff and acquire stuff, you have to then take care of it. You have to pay for it, whether it's getting fixed or getting cared for it or whatever it is. You have to clean it. And that didn't appeal to me. I'm not a very sentimental person. If I haven't touched it or seen it in 6 months, I don't need it. It's gone. I like having a clean and neat space. And so when it comes to minimalism and packing, that really helped me. And ain't nobody got time for that. It really just made a big difference for me. Because the less stuff I had, it was even easier to pack. And now with my Wonder Year, again, we are going across the world, 4 different countries, 4 different continents for a period of a year. I wanted to make my life simple. I didn't want to, cart a whole bunch of big bags across this world. I wanted to remain Team CarryOn because I am Mr. CarryOn. And so I worked on a capsule wardrobe. And my capsule wardrobe is a set number of items that all work together. They all go together. Every shirt goes with every shorts, a pair of pants. The shoes that I have matches everything. I have maybe 20 pieces. No, I counted it all that I can make. I think it was like 100 and something outfits out of the 30 or so pieces that I have. It's ridiculous. And again, I'm not really worried about what you think as far as what I wear because I'm traveling the world and having an amazing time and a great experience. So that's not a concern of mine, but it really helped out. And so now I just keep less stuff. So with all of that, I want to also make sure that I mention that I do perform packing consultations. I help people with minimalism. If you're looking to do a capsule wardrobe, I can help with that as well. When it comes to the packing consultations, I have 5 minutes left, Facebook is telling me. When it comes to the packing consultations, we can set up a time, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, especially if you have a trip booked. I can get on Skype or FaceTime with you and kind of review your items and help you kind of pare down. You know, you're going for a weekend at the beach and you have 3 bathing suits packed. Why? You know, take one. Or if you have to have another because you think one's going to be wet, you know, take 2. Okay, so you're going on a trip for a week and you have 8 pairs of jeans packed. Why? That's too many. So I can help you make some of those decisions. Also with the capsule wardrobe, that's where it really comes down to some more hard decisions and figuring out what your style is, what your uniform is, and working through some of that to get down to, and you don't have to have a set number. It takes a while to get to that. And I've seen some people where they only want to have 30 items. But, you know, I don't have a set number. I just have what I feel like it's a good number. I'll post more information in the Facebook live stream comments about those packing consultations. But that's really just about it for now. Thank you guys for checking it out. You know, we talked about packing. I talked about what qualifies me. I've been to up to 40 countries now, from Europe to South America to the continent of Africa. Not a country, the continent of Africa. I've only been to Kenya in Africa. And then, of course, Europe, and I made it to the Middle East, and then just all of the places that I've been to. That's what qualifies me. My packing, my desire to pack and only carry on, and some of the trials and errors that I've had. You know, it's really helped me, you know, go through this journey of, you know, being Team CarryOn. There's some great tools that you can use if you want to learn how to pack all in one place, all in one, or with the backpack or a carry-on suitcase. You know, check out, look at packing cubes. Look at some of the go-tos, the product I showed you before. And I'll post the link to where you can buy those products at in the comments before. All right, folks, that's it. Again, I am Mr. CarryOn. I'm out of here. Hit me up if you have any questions. And yeah, thanks for joining in. And again, if you haven't signed up yet, sign up for the blog over at My Wonder Year. We're actually giving away a packing consultation with me, Mr. CarryOn, for free. So check that out. All right, guys, have a good weekend.